So Tom, I just wanted to have a quick chat with you to speak about what your plans are outside rugby. You just started a course pretty recently, so just to start, would you talk us through what course you're doing now and your reasons behind doing it?
Yeah, so obviously getting a bit older, so I need to start looking outside, for things after rugby, and started looking at a level 2 electrician's course, obviously, which has the option of a level 3 for next year. Started doing that because it's really useful around rugby because it's part-time, doing it at home, in your own time, so I can work it around training, playing, the kids, things like that. And then it's probably the first thing I've really been quite interested in. I know that a desk job's probably not for me, so I did look at a joinery one, but we couldn't really find one what would match up, into a busy schedule of being a rugby player. It's a bit hectic sometimes, so this one fits perfectly.
Where do you see it going afterwards? What your sort of ambitions and your thoughts outside rugby eventually when retirement comes? Obviously not for a couple of years, hopefully yet, but it comes to all of us at some point. So what's your long-term plan?
Yeah, for me, I always want to try and excel and push as far as I can in whatever I do. So I see myself doing the level 2 this year, level 3, and then I've got 2 more years on my contract after that. I'm looking to hopefully push it into like an electrical engineer, that sort of vibe or area, which is obviously like I'd have to look at maybe doing either a part-time university degree or something for a level 4/5 qualification. But I see it down that route. That's what's really exciting me at the minute, to try and work towards that and have a sort of another career to start and get into after rugby, really.
So obviously you're 29 going on 30 now. I've known you a long time, since you were 17, 18 years old. We've been having these discussions for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So sort of a couple of questions. One, what advice would you have for the younger players now who obviously are focusing on the rugby? The rugby players at the end of the day, it's your career. It's really important, but there's also a hell of a lot of studies that suggest that people who've got to focus outside rugby as well, it massively improves your rugby career because it gives you something to do in your downtime, something to focus on, and also as you come towards the back end of your career, knowing that you've got something that's finished, that's complete, that gives you a really smooth transition, it actually prolongs players' career because it takes away the stress and worry in the back end. So what sort of...
I'd say definitely, explore what options are available to you, and then whether it be, I think the mistake I've made is I've waited for something that I've really, really, really been interested in to do, but I think there was other things I could have probably picked up and done around it, at the time earlier in the career, or maybe, like you say, if you find the one you want, you could have started it earlier and progressed to a level where, like, I could already be at a level 5 waiting to, transition if needs be. But for me, I regret not doing more earlier in terms of, I've had quite a few big injuries and things like that, and I actually have nothing to show over the time where I've been out of rugby, where I've had nothing to focus on. Struggled sometimes mentally, and if I'd have had something maybe to focus on in that aspect, I might have, been a bit better with myself. But obviously I'd have more options and opportunities after rugby, and I wouldn't say I'm scrambling at the minute, but I wouldn't be thinking I'm turning 30 with nothing under my belt at the minute. I could have had a few different options to look down, and obviously for me as well, we've always done it where I've looked at with property management with a few rental properties, but if I'd have looked at doing different courses earlier on, I could do a lot of the maintenance myself, whereas at the minute I'm still paying contractors come in and fix things. So yeah, there's a lot of different things what I'd say to young lads coming through that you could probably look into, because there's a massive array of things options available to us in terms of courses. Just look through them, find something that what excites you a little bit, and then dive into that. And then maybe once you've got the qualification, if you don't want to progress further into something else, you can always look at something else. There's that many options available.
And the balance is obviously really important as well, because obviously your priority and our priority is that you go out there and you perform every week, which you have done for a number of years now. Obviously you're married, you've got 2 young kids, so your priorities change. They're trying to find time to find something that you can do that fits around the rest of your lifestyle. Obviously it's pretty difficult, and I'm assuming it's got a little bit older now with the other responsibilities you've got.
Yeah, exactly. It's the courses are tailored quite well for us in that aspect, that it's not just priority of rugby anymore. You've got to juggle a lot of different aspects in your life. So we've got, mine's now a part-time working doing it from home on a computer. All you need is a computer and you can access the course and do it from there. So I've been doing it, you know, an hour here, an hour there. If the kid goes down, you can get through it a little bit, and it's it's easier, rather than, you know, we don't have to go into a college and try and juggle that around. But obviously with them, they might have the opportunity to be able to go into college, you know, not having a wife and kids and things like that. You have got the rugby, but, you know, we get a lot of time off to rest and recover, and it's not strenuous going and doing a bit of coursework here and there. So it'd be a lot easier for them to do it than, you know, someone like me.
And lastly from me, Tom, obviously we've just had the grants this week through Rugby League Cares, which obviously all players are open to apply for. Obviously a massive thank you to them for helping with the qualifications you're doing and the work that they do behind to support me as a player welfare manager and you as players as well.
Yeah, huge. You know, they're doing everything they can to help us transition a little bit easier, so we're not a bit lost when, you know, we get to the end of rugby. They've, you know, luckily applying and providing grants for people, so people like me can do courses like this, and it helps us out a lot more. And then, you know, they're giving that support, so when I do come to the end of my career, I don't have nothing behind me, and I can actually hopefully transition into a job quite nicely, and, you know, it's not falling off a cliff sort of thing, and the stress and what comes with, you know, say the real world, because at the minute we're in a bit of a bubble being rugby players. You get looked after with everything you do.
Yep. So that's it from me, Tom. Thanks again for having a chat with us, and good luck with the rest of your course.
Perfect. Cheers, Stu. Thank you.